So this is my attempt at trying to demonstrate horizontal stack. So you've got your three cutters here, or three handlers here. This is in the middle, forces righty flick. And you've got your four cutters set up here, two poppers, two rails on the sides. Should only be about 10-15 yards away. So when the disc is in the middle, you have your two poppers active because basically in this, where the disc is, you're basically working with this space. Like, generally you're kind of in this kind of circle, but it's kind of this column that you're working with. And that'll apply also for when the disc gets swung to this side or the other side. So the disc is here now. Then instead of having it down the middle, you're having these two being active because that's where the disc is. So basically for this demonstration, red is always going to be the mark, white is offense, blue is the disc, the yellow arrows will be when the disc is moving, and then the green will be when the cutters are moving. So going over what the popper should do when it's down the middle, the general movement is kind of like a triangle, but it's more of like a square and then a triangle on top. So because the force is this side, this cutter will first cut in to about when they're like 3 or 4 yards above them, but still in line this way. And this cutter should either be faking deep or like actually making a deep cut. And from there, the handler can either make this short throw, or if the deep throw is open, they'll hit that. Usually that won't happen because taking the first look is not always our first instinct, but you should always be ready, especially on this cut, because even if you think you're just making a fake cut, if your defender chooses to still stay under, then you can just keep going deep, and that's a wide open throw. But a lot of the more detailed stuff requires just being heads up playing, which is hard to teach. But say that this isn't swung here or it's not put up there, then they'll fake, and this person should still kind of be going. But on the fake, this person, when they make it to here, like decently angled, they should go just straight across, because if you go out, you're clogging this person on the under. If you go that way, I guess you're freeing this space, but it's usually you're just wanting to try and stay in the middle because that's what your job is. So you go here, and when this person starts making the cut back, the person who has gone pretty far out should then start making this cut under. So from here, the handler, because this is a really tough throw. That throw won't go up often, or it might go this way. It might happen. And as long as between these two areas, you're still an active cutter. So you should be looking for the disc. And if it goes up, it goes up. Usually it won't, so you're usually fine. But what this allows it, because you're cutting over, this throw becomes a viable throw. And that's usually what will happen, because that is the most open someone will be during the host stack. But say we're being stingy, or we're looking for a bad look, The person who made it here doesn't get the disc. The person who's coming down doesn't get the disc either. And from here, instead of going back to where you started, just like where you were originally, but like on the other side, you're running through and doing the same thing. So it's just a big loop around, which is why it's kind of like a triangle with a square, but yeah, that's what you're meant to do. Just as the two active cutters, this works on the other side, and say in the cases where the force is swapped or it's on this sideline and they're forcing sideline and the mark is here, then it's very simple. It's just reversing the order. So this person goes under, goes across, at the same time this person goes out, comes under, and the cycle repeats. But yeah, that's just the basic cutter movement. Now, one of the hardest things to learn in regards to hoe stack is when the disc gets swung while you're in the play. Because sometimes you're just locked up out here and the disc ends up going, let's go this side. It ends up on that side. So now the disc is here, and actually for simplicity, we'll keep the force. So, disc gets swung, force stays the same. But the issue is that usually these two are in motion already. So, like, if this person is all the way out here after making the out and under, and this person, it doesn't really matter because they're coming back here and that's not in the play because the disc is over here. So person that's over here, his job is usually just clearing out. You don't have to finish the cut because you're not active. So, but when it gets swung and it's kind of a mess and there's no, what do you do? This person's still out of position. But what you can't do is just panic and cut wildly, which is bad because that's what I do, but I do it because we don't run an offense. So what should happen is, because these guys are the active ones, they need to communicate and say who is going under, who's going out, who's going under. And in this situation, it's probably best if this guy goes under. So, because he has a decent angle to make that undercut, while if he wanted to go all the way around, he'd have to go out here while this guy's going under. So this guy would be going like that, and this guy would have to go there and then back out, which is a waste of time. But what should happen is that they communicate and they discuss and realize that this person goes under, this person goes out, and now we're back into a hoe stack. And that's just being able to communicate with your teammates and figure out things on the spot. All right, so now to go over what happens when the disc actually goes up. So we'll go over first what happens if it gets hit under. So either when this person goes under and they get it here, or when this person clears out and around. This should be a cut. This should not be a curve. You're trying to get it there, make a cut, go across. That right here, it can be either. Usually you should always be cutting, so don't try and curve into it. But then this person goes out and under, and it gets thrown here. So basically, either way, the disc ends up here. So this changes everything because now, usually let's say it was the person who was going deep, got the under. The person who was cutting across is usually about here, and they're trying to clear out. So what can happen, what usually won't happen, is that this person can just go deep, but usually that doesn't happen because our cutters are not always throwing that, so you can't always do that. It's always a good thing to do because if you go out and then hard under, you can usually get that free under. But let's say that doesn't happen, and this person just runs out here, comes under, and ends up right here. So that's where about they are. We're just trying to take it slow and not rush through this. So now the rails, that rail should definitely just go straight up because if they do anything, they're clogging. Now, down here, this handler should definitely go up here. And what usually won't be worried unless you're Jordan, because he's handling usually. These two handlers need to discuss who's going to push and who's going to stay back, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 handlers back. So usually it'll be this person goes the farthest, and this person will come all the way over and take the popper position. This person will go here. They're trying to stay close, but not too close, because if you're clumped, then you're not going to get throws off, but if you're too far, you're not going to be available for the dump. And this person who's completely out of the play needs to go to where the original rail would have been. And so then if things are going slowly, everything ends up there, and there comes up, this person comes up here, rail comes across, and the third handler is now pushed, and one of the poppers is the main handler here, the two cutters, the two handlers on the sides, and now it's just back into hoe stack, and you just keep running it over and over. So one issue with this compared to what Eli initially tried to teach us is that it only involves these two. These people are not doing anything unless it is a set play designed for one of them to go deep. So what can happen, and what usually will happen, is that if it keeps getting swung back and forth and it's staying a lot in the middle, these two guys are going to be absolutely gassed. So what I would recommend, because what you do is you call for a swap, like on defense, you call for a swap. So if you're trying to swap with this guy, the best time to go for the swap is when you go here, and you go out, but you keep going, and you fucking yell at this person to get into the stack. And if they say no, then they're doing it wrong, and that's on them, that's not on you. So this person cycles in usually because this person has already gone deep and is coming under. This person will go all the way around and come under because this guy has already gone out, under, and is probably about like here. So from that side, that's what you want to do if you're calling for a swap like that. And if you're calling for a swap on your output, just broke my chalk. This person should go all the way out, yell at this person to tell them to get under, and they'll make this kind of strike cut under. And if they don't get it here, actually, this person should come a lot shallower first. Like they should almost be in line with the handlers, because that gives you the most space to make this cut out. Because if you make a straight line, you're gonna get beat, and that makes you tired also. So you always want to try and make a cut at any place where you expect to catch it or not catch it. And then this person has already gone around and is cutting under by now, so this person has cycled out, this person is in the middle, and now you've done the swap right and can keep running it even though this person is tired, and then you get more and more swaps and the defense will get even more gassed. So that's how swaps work. In the case where this deep cut is hit, so this person comes over, comes across, and clears out that space for this throw. So this person gets it, defense, disc. In this scenario, the best option is this guy. This guy coming all the way across for just like a long slash cut. So either you're in the end zone trying to get it up here, or you're trying to get it here. Either way, that is the best look, because if this guy goes, that is a tough throw to make. You have to hit whatever curve that no one likes to throw. But basically that's the most viable cut. So this person should be heads up aware, seeing that deep cut to go, because no one else is in position to make that cut. So say this person ends up out there and doesn't get it, because if he gets it, then it's just follow through and score. But say this person doesn't get it, he's gonna sit there and wait, because unless he's gonna run an ISO, the best thing is to just wait for an offense to come back and reset, because this person not handling it. So get it back to the handler as soon as possible. That's what cutters should always do. Like, I don't do it, and it's a bad habit, and like there are good times to make that choice and bad times to make that choice. So that just comes with experience, and you're gonna make those choices even though if you're not trying to, and it's all right. So this person comes up like last time, gets there. These handlers, like this handler will always come back up here, like no matter what. This person on the open side will always be going there. Now again, these two need to decide who's gonna stay back. Usually this one will stay back, this guy will come straight up the line, and then, hold on, it's confusing. This guy's out of the play there. This guy will, the cut he should make is not always the one he will make to get back into the stack, but what should be done is that this guy goes around. He should not be cutting up like that, because the force is already on this side. If you're cutting off more open space, you might be cutting off a throw up line. And then, so once this all happens, you're back. You're just back into another host stack. It's really simple. It feels a lot simpler than it is, because on the field, you're getting lost all the time, and what you'll try and do is, especially if you're a rail and you see like nothing's happening, you're gonna wanna go across and get that open throw, which is good, but we as a team should not be doing that. Unfortunately, I have to do that because our poppers don't move half the time, and we're always too far, and there's a lot that can go wrong. But what I plan to do a lot is that because I'm gonna be popping a lot more, I'm gonna be out here calling a lot of like the commands on what to do, and then that will help our offense run a lot smoother. Because right now, it doesn't run. We have like the offense that we run. The best way I can put it is that we've got our handlers back. We've got the force and the disc. The issue is our cutters are usually here, here, and like sometimes they can be out here. Like this is at least 20-25 yards, which is way too much. And usually when I see this and I'm like here or here, I'll just make this aggressive cut across, because if these guys aren't doing anything and our handlers are strapped, because that can happen and usually will happen, like I'm just using this open space to get open. Like if that's what I want you guys to do, because a lot of our cutters are new and don't really know what they're doing, but I want to teach you guys how to make those heads up plays, because that's what separates a lot of like good cutters, is that when they see that when they see that nothing's happening here and this guy's guard is like sitting here or something, like if one of you is here, you should have the heads up knowledge to just book it deep. Like I don't care if like you might get burnt by your guy, but if you look open for just long enough for your handler to realize that you are open and they're confident about making that throw, the issue with that point is that since nothing's moving, we're not getting anywhere, and ending the point as soon as possible is the best option. So making those heads up plays are like something that I will do my best to teach, but I don't know how well that'll go, because it's all based on how aware are you of what's happening on the field and understanding like who is gassed, who just ran, where is like the next cut to go, and like where can I get open, because that's another issue that a lot of people have, is that they don't want to get open. They'll just sit out here just kind of standing around, and then they'll jog under. Like you're not gonna get shit jogging. So you just have to want it, and I don't know how to teach that besides just playing a lot. So yeah, but yeah, that's basically it. So there's host deck. Maybe sometime this week or next week we'll just run it with these three, because that's honestly all that's gonna happen, because when it gets swung you got these three, when it gets swung you got these three, and when it's in the middle you got these three. So it only takes 3 people to really practice it and just get this movement down, because if you can make these cuts like sharp and easy, and you can get good at just making this cycle over and over again, we're gonna be so much better. Because I think last I checked, our ranking against everyone in college, we are like 300 something out of 360, and that is still lower than some D2 and D3 schools, which does not make me the happiest, if I'm being honest. There you go.